Root Film is Kadokawa's game's newest entry on the Nintendo Switch. This mystery visual novel adventure game offers a charming, colorful art style with some interesting characters and stories that definitely go places, giving players the freedom to explore at their leisure and piece together a string of unsettling mysteries. While being the second game in the company's Mysteries game series, Root Film is not a direct sequel to Root Letter, the first entry in the genre. The majority of the time you'll be playing as Rentaro Yagumo, a film director who's just after winning his rather prestigious award is anxious about his next big project, the reboot of an old cancelled TV show called Shimane Mystery Drama Project. Through a bit of luck and circumstances, given the chance to work on the project as one of 3 different directors, so he immediately focused on scouting locations and finding a lead. Enter Riho, the second protagonist and a young actress/model. After being privy to some rather troubling incidents, she takes on the task of solving them, and the plot for a rather interesting tragic suicide or perhaps a murder incident begins to take hold. Each story chapter contains something of a mystery to solve, some which are standalone while others reach several chapters across the story, some via callbacks and other references. There's some real attention to detail in the game's script. Everything that's said has a purpose and almost a potential second meaning. So if you're the type who's constantly trying to deduct meaning and ideas from what you're actually reading, this is an ideal experience. While most of the game is obviously reading text, there are moments where you're somewhat quizzed on your knowledge. Each of the 2 protagonists gather clues. They make mental notes of them and use them later during the accusation periods. These recall back to other mystery games like Danganronpa, where in order to accuse a person or perhaps prove their innocence, you make use of the clues collected and information gathered. It's a simple yet engaging system that gets the job done. While not accusing people of murder, you'll be exploring locations freely, talking to people, getting clues, and moving on to the next big story plot to advance the narrative. You'll notice that the location visited are real-life places in Japan, giving a bit more realism and grounding the events. However, there is something to be said about the game not directly pointing you as to where to go. This is something that you have to deduct from the conversations you have with other characters. Thankfully, the access guide is a godsend, giving you information on the characters and conversations previously held with others, helping you keep track of what's going on. Some of the most interesting characters are people that you'll meet randomly that aren't necessarily part of the story. This also highlights just how well-rounded the entire plot is, and what could seem like a mundane conversation actually holds meaning. Also helping this is the fact that everything is voice acted in Japanese. While there's no dub, I don't feel that actually takes away from the experience. The art is also colorful and engaging. Sadly, there's no movement or actions at all. There's still images with overlaid text and audio, harking back to more traditional visual novels. It's also worth noting that the translation is a bit rough. There's typos and odd phrasings to be found. While playing on the Switch Lite, I did not find the text to be too small or anything like that. I know that a lot of people always ask about those specific details. Root Film is an interesting murder mystery game that does a good job switching perspectives from the 2 protagonists' approach and keeping the story constantly moving forward. Even with the small shortcomings like a rough translation and still non-moving images, there's some fun and engaging macabre story told extremely well. Nintendo Sphere gives Root Film on Switch an 8 out of 10. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!